to Whose Turn Is It Anyway, a board gaming podcast centred around our gaming group where we just can't get enough about games, and even more games. I'm JP, I'm your current first player, and I'm joined by Davey.
Hello.
Becky.
Hi.
And guess who's back? Back again? Kerley.
Glutton for punishment. Hello.
You love it.
Too much.
You love it. Yeah, I love it. I love chatting about games. All the games. Anyway, but we're here to talk about when gaming expectations don't always hit the mark. More about that later. But how's everyone doing?
All good. Really good. Started my new job.
You have, haven't
First
you?
week. Yeah, enjoying it.
Riding on the high that is.
Yeah.
New job, and oh my god, it's a new job, my head hurts.
Yes, a bit of that. Coming home feeling exhausted.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I asked her what she was doing earlier and she said wafting, so it can't be that fucking hard.
Wafting
around the hospital.
I was going around to each department to see how the new starters were doing. So I was going in and wafting in. Oh, hi, how's it going?
Yeah.
You know, showing support and being there.
Yeah.
Well, because we're from Somerset, it's probably wafting.
Wafting.
Yeah. With extra A's.
I'm from Leicester. It's wafting. There we go.
Wafting.
Yeah, well, I did wonder if it was like, you know, more the southwestern dialect of like daps and things like that. But I won't get into it. Cause,
Filthy northerner, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Midlands.
Special.
Midlands.
Anywhere north of Bristol, I'm afraid.
North to us.
Anyway, should we get on with the show?
Yeah.
It's turn 2 and it's time to talk about the games we played in Let's Talk About Hex. So, Becky, I'm going to let you go first because you're very excited,
I hope
aren't
that you realise that you are speaking to one of the Crokinole Wales 2023 team tournament winners.
Woo! Round of applause.
Yeah, so me, Ian and Chris, all from the pod, went to all the way to Wales and we won the team tournament Crokinole
Nailed
championships.
It.
Yeah. Very pleased about that.
Got a medal and everything.
Got a medal.
She hasn't finished talking about that. So it's back.
It's hanging up in the kitchen. I nearly wore it to my first day of work because I was so excited.
It's on the wallpaper on your phone by this bit as well.
Yeah, it's right in front of you.
I was very much not expecting it to happen because we did it in seeds. So, you know, obviously the best player is seed 1, second best seed 2, and I was obviously seed 3 and thought that I was going to let the whole side down. And to be honest, I did a little bit. However, it all came good in the end. And yeah, we got the points and a great time was had by everyone. Everyone was really friendly. Just shout out to Steve Burrows. Don't think he listens, but you know, if he listens to this, give him a little shout out. He kind of welcomed everyone into his home and everyone had a brilliant time. It was really lovely.
How did you do the seeds then? Like how did you know you were seed 3?
Well, we decided in our little team between me, Ian and Chris.
Right.
I decided I was definitely the third seed. Ian was first, Chris was second. We did 2 rounds of doubles. Seed 2 and 3 did doubles against seed 2 and 3 in the other teams. Mm-hmm. Then we did seeds 1 and 3. Wow, 2 played singles, and then we did singles at the end. Yeah, it was really good, really well organised, really thoroughly good fun.
More Crokinole, more shooting 20s.
I didn't get a lot of 20s, not going to lie. My 20 count was not good.
Fair enough.
But it was really good fun.
I can tell you had a good time. And you put some kind of pics and things on the socials, didn't we?
Yeah.
And basically you all just looked very pleased with
Yeah.
yourselves.
Well, it was a real surprise because they
great.
They took aggregate scores and then at the end he kind of announced it and we kind of thought, okay, we weren't 4th, we weren't 3rd. Oh my goodness, we weren't set. Oh my, and we'd won.
Oh my god, we won this thing.
Yeah, that was it.
Now you've got the medals. You're going to have to hold on to your first position, right?
Absolutely. Defending
your honour, the title, the belt, the podcast, reputation.
Yeah.
Insert anything there, really. Yeah.
I will say Becky puts herself down, but we had a 1-on-1 at the UKGE tournament, and you were not easy at all. I think we drew, didn't we?
I think we probably did.
Yeah, I think we drew. It was a really tough one, and I did all right in it. So yeah, Becky can hold her own.
It was good. I need to practice more.
Yeah. What is it you said to me the day before, dear? I said, are you going to practice?
I said, no, I'm relying on my natural skill and talent, which is why I'm 3rd seed. But no, it was really fun. I wouldn't have minded if we'd have come last. We had really good fun. It was really good.
Yeah, you went up there just to play Crokinole
today. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what you did and you won. So even better result.
Really?
Absolutely.
Nice one. Well done. All right, let's move on to Davey just because you sat next to each other.
Yeah, why not? So I haven't played a lot in the new year, but over Christmas time, played a lot of board games, as I'm sure everyone did. Mm-hmm. Played quite a few, but the one I'm going to mention is a bit more of a lightweight game. It's just a trick-taking game that I think I did mention before, but maybe not. Skull King. And it's basically your standard trick-taking game. You could probably play it with a deck of cards, but it's got its own artwork and rules to go along with it. And it adds a nice spin in the fact that you have to get your exact tricks that you bet. And so 8 players, I think it was. And so we would all sit around. Cousins came down as well. And so we all sat around and played that and played that to the early hours in the morning, really. So it's good fun. Yeah, really good fun. Kept playing it over and over. So that's definitely taken the biscuit for me and finishing off 2022 with a bit of Skull King.
What biscuit?
Worth it.
What biscuit?
No.
Bourbon?
I think more
Hobnob?
for custard cream. Let's go for it. Yeah, nice.
Cheeky.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheeky.
Nice creamy centre.
Ooh, nice. So tell us a bit more there. So obviously trick taking.
So
you're playing, a hand of cards and playing suits and following suits and things like that.
Yeah, there's lots of different rules you can do, but the one we started off with was the round number dictates how many cards you got, so how many tricks. So it's 1 card.
Yeah.
Out of a deck of I can't remember how many cards are in there, but it's basically you've got 3 different colours: purple, green, and yellow. Those are 1 to 14 each.
Yeah.
And then you've got a black suit, which trumps those others, all of those others. Otherwise, it's just number based.
Yeah.
And then you've got pirates, and there's a couple of rules you can play. And the pirates beat everything.
Okay.
And including the mermaids, they beat the mermaids.
Oh,
but
there's mermaids
There's
in this game.
mermaids.
And then there's the pirate king,
Okay.
which the mermaids beat, but the pirate king beats everything else.
Yeah, I'm
so
lost, but carry on.
it's really simple to play it.
Yeah.
And you can start, and then there's loads of other bonus cards you can start throwing in as well. There's a whale that you put the white whale down, and it literally means that it's just on numbers now. So all the pirates and everything is all obsolete.
Yeah.
One of those in the deck, and then there's another one which basically means that the whole trick's just discounted.
Oh, right.
And when you're betting for your exact amount of tricks, 1 trick means everything. So the fact that someone turns you the whole trick off, you're just like, no, someone just played a Kraken. So that's 1 less trick of the round.
Yeah.
So.
Reminds me of Nomination Whist, if you ever played that.
Yeah. Whist is like a trick-taking game, I think.
Yeah, nomination is that you said how many tricks you were going to win.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you said 1 out of the 13 or whatever, you were equally good as someone who said the other 12.
Yeah. And it is that, but it's just got some added bonus rules in there that spice
Mix
things
it
up.
up.
Yeah, and the pirates have powers as well, depending on what pirate you play and stuff like that. So
Sounds fun.
yeah, it is really fun.
Sounds like that kind of, not like anything like Love Letter, but it's that kind of weight game.
Yeah.
Easy to get to the table.
This beats this.
Many games
and
in
then,
a night.
Yeah, and you can just play it at any time, kind of thing.
Right.
Just be like, I'll just crack out a game because we've got a game done in 40 minutes. You know? So
I'll be up for playing
Fair.
that. I like
it's good
trick
fun.
taking. It's good fun.
Yeah.
Curlington the Third.
Kellington the Third.
Who's the other 2?
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's his brothers.
I'm the middle one, so how does that work?
I don't know.
Don't look into it.
Don't question the logic.
Don't question. There's no logic. It's just a stupid name. Carry on.
No, I quite like it though. So I've played it before. We've talked about it before, so I'm not going to get into a great amount of detail. But Perseverance, first time I got that to the table in a couple of months, and still really love that fucking game. I know.
Calm down.
It's one of my favourites, honestly.
Yeah.
Nice.
I know that it's a little bit hit or miss, which kind of fits in with the group.
Yeah.
Into the today's episode, right?
Yeah.
Because I know Davey doesn't like episode 1 particularly. I love episode 1. Episode 1 is what I was playing. I know that we're a bit hit and miss on the not the Legacy Chronicle mode. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but it is one of my favourites. Not quite.
Great game.
I'd say my 3rd favourite Mind Clash, but yeah, absolutely loved it. For those of you who've not listened to our Mind Clash episode, then
If not, why
very
not?
briefly,
Episode 10. Get
Yeah.
back and have a listen.
that was my favourite episode, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's basically you get stranded on an island after is it a ship that gets
Yeah, you were on
shipwreck?
the Pearl, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And basically the ship goes through a storm and ends up crash landing on a
And near
mysterious
enough,
island.
a community of people crash land on an island, and you've got to try and survive. But this island happens to have a lot of dinosaurs on it, so you got to kind of band together and go for food and get scrap together and fight off the dinos and put defenses together, walls and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's in its essence, it's I guess a worker placement, but instead of workers, you use dice, so they have different symbol, dice drafting type thing. But yeah, just a really interesting puzzle. I will say, in Davey's defence, I would say episode 2's better. but I still love episode 1. But yeah, so give it a try if you like one of the more complicated Euros, I would say.
Yeah, I think my favourite moment. No, it's probably a bit harsh, but one of my favourite moments is when playing episode 2, where you were broken.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've never seen you have as much analysis paralysis ever in my life, where you just sat and looked at the board and went, I don't fucking know.
Just started flailing. You just started flailing.
Yeah, it's like a robot that ran out of batteries.
Yeah, so it doesn't happen very much, but I just looked at that game, and it wasn't only analysis paralysis. It was a mixture of analysis paralysis and getting a massive headache, just from there being so many different options. And it wasn't that I didn't know what to do. It was the fact that it would just like there were. Do you remember that Simpsons episode where Monty Burns thinks he's invincible because all these diseases are trying to come and he's just like, he just happens to be no, just so fragile. Anyway, so I felt like that. There was just too many options, and I was just like stuck in the doorway. I just couldn't move. I just didn't know what to do, and it was incredibly frustrating. But after about an hour and a half...
Oh yeah, you loosened up when you got into it.
It loosened up, started to understand the game's mechanism, and absolutely loved it. And now episode 2 is my favourite. And I can't really see why I had that problem, because now I understand it. Looking back, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, because we've learnt it.
I think but there are certain things, because I had the same with Anachrony.
Yeah.
When I first sat down with Anachrony, I was just like, what the hell?
Now you know how I feel in every other game ever.
Every game you wheel out in front of me, that's how I feel.
Yes.
But, no.
But I soldier on anyway.
Like I say, it sounded harsh, but it was kind of like, he is human after all. This does happen to him. The machine, the efficiency machine that is Kerley, does sometimes break down.
Yeah,
and it's a joy to
broke
see.
down on that day. But I really had just broken down. I was nearly at the point where I thought, that's right, boys, I'm going home.
I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, tap out.
No, I do enjoy that.
But
game.
loved it.
Cool. I will take on a game we played literally last night, and we haven't played since Halloween of 2021, I believe. And it's a game.
Sounds about right. It was one of the first ones we had coming back from COVID.
Yeah, and it was, I think, the game that got Adrian into the gaming group.
Yeah.
It was his first ever game with us.
My car broke down.
And your car broke down that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if I haven't kind of guessed, Halloween themed, horror themed game that I like to play every year at that time, and we didn't last year for whatever reason. It's Fury of Dracula. So Fury of Dracula, it's in its 4th edition, might even be coming for a 5th, but it's in its 4th edition, and that edition was published by WizKids, previously Fantasy Flight Games, and essentially it's a hidden movement game at its core, where Dracula is skulking, not the trick-taking game, but literally skulking around Europe. Yeah, good to hear.
A nice little tie-in.
Yeah,
like
good,
it.
isn't it? Yeah. It took me 10 minutes to think of that. But yeah, it's literally skulking around Europe in the late 19th century, and essentially everyone thinks he's dead. It's supposed to be set after the book, right? Bram Stoker's Dracula. I think it's set there. Everyone thinks they've killed him, but no, he's not really dead. And he's causing mischief and mayhem around Europe, and there are the 4 hunters that have to pretty much stake him and kick his ass.
Don't ask me to name them.
Yeah, don't ask me to name them. You should know the names after the quiz.
No, I know one.
No.
Van Helsing.
Van
It's the
Helsing.
easy
Well
one.
done.
Yeah, there you go.
Definitely in there. Yeah. So along with Mina Harker and Dr John Seward and Lord Godalming, right? So those are the hunters that are kind of in league to try and stop Drac. So yeah, it's a very clever game, very thematic, and it's, I like playing Dracula. I didn't play Drac last night. We had Tambo, which was his first ever game, and I think
He did a sterling job.
he
I was
did
very
a
impressed.
sterling job. He won the game as well, and I know he was nervous to do it. And if anyone hasn't played Dracula in that game, it is quite a stressful experience. It is quite, like, if you get the game wrong, you end the game for everyone, and everyone has a pretty poo game. But also, you just kind of want to stay hidden, and you want to make sure you're not giving any cues away about where you're moving. So essentially, you have this kind of row of cards at the edge of the board, where Dracula's putting face down all the locations that he's visiting, and every kind of night phase they slide along one, and he puts another location. So essentially it's like a snake trail, where he's kind of wandering around, and as the hunter you kind of want to stumble across this trail and deduce where the hell he is, so you can basically give him a good hiding. And I think turn 2
Turn 1.
Is it turn 1?
Yeah, you moved once and caught him.
Yeah, that's it. So turn 1, my first movement, move once, sprung into action. There's Drac. I think Tambo's face was, oh great, this is going to be a short game. Isn't it? But to be fair, when you're early in the game as a hunter, you've got no items, you've got no events, you've got nothing. And basically, I was trying to go toe to toe with Drac with punch, dodge, and escape card. That was it. So every now and then I was punching him. He was slapping me back. He got a bite on me. Mesmerised me. He bit me and nearly killed me. I kind of had to.
JP was a bit of a punch bag for the first.
I
2
was,
hours.
yeah. I got a lot of scrapes until I found some crucifix cards, and then I gave him a bit more of a good hiding. But still, he took me to the hospital by nearly a body bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, good fun game.
Did no one come and help you then? Whereas did you fight?
I was in Eastern Europe on my own.
It was turn 1. We were all just the other
We
side
were
of the
spread
board.
out to
You
try
said
and find him.
you've been in the punching bag for 2 hours. So I thought.
Well, you've got to keep in mind, right, with this game, and I know you've played it before, right, but Dracula disappeared, and then JP kind of limped off somewhere.
Licking
and
my
then
wounds.
we were all like, right, where the hell's he gone? So we were like, is he going to go to Ocean? Is he going to go here? So we started to spread out and try and find him again. And then, of course, who found him again? JP. So it was kind
He
of,
doubled back.
Yeah, so basically he doubled backed and gave JP another shoe in while we were like, we could be anywhere.
So you ran away from the wounded one.
Yeah.
I like it because it is a cooperative game to a degree. So for the 3 of you, it's cooperative.
It's one versus many.
Yeah, but it's still a really good challenge, and it's really nice. Kind of, I reckon he might be here. Oh no, well if we work it back, he could be there. So there's a lot of thought about it, and the whole time this other person's kind of thinking, I know exactly where I am, and that's just a really fun dynamic in the game. I think.
I think Tambo mentioned that he was like, he did feel like that, but every single time JP was like, no, he could do this. He was right every single time. so Tambo was like, that bloody JP.
So you were reading his mind without realising. You were Mina Harker without realising you were.
Without being Mina Harker.
Less sexier, I'd say. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just trying to be as sexy.
Don't put yourself down, mate. Don't put
Thanks.
yourself
You are
down.
quite toothy though.
Thanks, guys. But yeah, I think
JP just turns up in some heels and a dress like he's over there.
it was Wednesday, so why not? So no, I always enjoy Fury Dracula. I think my only complaint about the game, and this is me being nitpicky, is it can go on. It can go on a bit.
Yeah, I had to tap out at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you were
to
like,
bed.
I feel poorly, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I didn't feel great, and I knew I had to get up for work the next morning. I was like, I don't want to leave everyone, but
it's one of those games. It does last long, and if you're part of the story, shall we say, where you're doing lots of things, like I was getting my head kicked in. I was fighting Dracula. I felt like I was an involved member of the team. There were other members that maybe did less. Just by the fact of where they were on the board and where Dracula was. So some people are walking around collecting items, going into sea, coming out of sea, going back to sea, coming out of sea again, and then that was it. So that's the only negative I have about that game. Really, is that sometimes your experience of the game might not be on par with others.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. You are totally right. But it's all about mindset.
Yeah.
So I don't go into that game thinking that it is
an individual.
What am I doing?
Yes.
So, for example, I didn't get in one fight.
No.
I didn't do anything, but I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because we were like deducing it, working it out, where is he, as a group, and kind of almost playing vicariously as a group.
Like a hive mind versus Drac.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah. Which is what
I
it's
didn't feel
designed
like
to do.
it was, all right, you had the fights and that was like symbol matching and all this stuff and it was cool, but, I just laughed at you when you were getting a kick in. That was enough for me.
it does mean that somebody can be on team making duty as well, so that is quite nice.
Yeah. That's true. But no, like I say, that's not me being overly critical. It's just that some people might find with that game that if you've got the mindset of I want to play a cool part of the story with my character, you might not. It might not happen.
And that's the interesting thing about that is when I first played it, it's called Fury of Dracula. It's not Furious.
Yeah.
It's literally you wander around at a really sedate, nice pace. Like, oh, is he in there? It's like very sedate, and you don't really like. I didn't have a single fight. I just walked around and picked up items.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, lovely item there.
To be fair, it wasn't Dracula that sent me to the hospital. It was his reckless vampire, wasn't it?
No, you killed him.
Oh yeah, no, I killed him.
No, you had
Just.
one life left.
Yeah,
You had
that's
one
right.
life left when you finished off that vampire.
And I healed up a bit, and then he gave me a kick in.
Yes,
yeah, that was it.
yeah.
That was
And then you went, I've got some items now. I could probably give him a kick in. And you went, oh, there he is. Found him. And no, I couldn't give him a kick in. I went to the toilet, didn't I? I said, I bet you're in the hospital
Yeah,
by the
you
time I
did.
get back. And I got back, and he went, yeah, I'm in the hospital.
I'm in Bucharest, mate. I've gone to Bucharest by ambulance. Yeah, or horse and car or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I do love the game. Always up for playing it. It's kind of one I kind of play once every year. That's it. Should we talk about the main event? So it's the main event, and we're going to talk about great hexpectations. So for everyone who's listening thinking, what the hell are you talking about? This is essentially board game therapy, right? So if you imagine lying on the couch and you're thinking about all those times where you got really excited about whether it's playing a game, whether it's something that you thought you were going to enjoy and you didn't and it fell short, or you've got a game that you love that you've put to the table and in front of your friends and they've gone, this is shit. And it's all the things that can happen in gaming groups where things don't go quite to plan. So that's the topic, and there's no real structure for this. It's really just a bit of a chat with us four about our own personal experiences and kind of what we found that maybe just hasn't quite hit the mark. So
who wants to sit on the sofa first? You can't see it, but JP's laid out a nice like chaise
Absolutely.
lounge that we've got to all lie on.
And it might feel like this is a bit of a negative episode, and we don't kind of want it to feel like it's a negative episode, like we want to bash on games or, and bash on different things there. But, like any therapy session, you feel better when you've talked about stuff, right? So the positive is get it
I've
out
got
of
a
the chest.
confession. I've got a confession, and you're all going to hate me, and I don't care. I'm just going to say it anyway.
Blurt it out. Go.
I don't like viticulture.
Whoa.
I know.
You don't like
I've been
it?
holding it in. It was one of the first games that I played around here, I think.
It was, yeah.
With people, and I thought, oh, this is cool. There's stuff going on, and I'm not really
Making wine.
I'm not really getting it, but that does the okay. Played it second time. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's stupid because no, right?
It's stupid.
I know everyone loves it, and I get why. I do.
Yeah.
I do. It makes no stupid sense. Why, if you mix one little thimbleful of red wine with 15 casks of white wine, you get blush, or you don't. You get tainted white wine. I'm sorry, it's stupid, and I don't care for it. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
Did you
But
feel
you like Wingspan,
Yep.
where there's lots of birds with different
Yeah,
random
it's
abilities
not because
in
it's
a
about-
line.
I mean,
It's not because it's about wine. It's not. I just don't like it, and
this
I'm
is,
sorry
that's
about
fair enough.
that.
This is the point of this episode. So we've all got these little things
Yeah.
inside us that maybe you want to say and you haven't said.
Yeah, that's it. I've
Because
been
you
holding
think,
that
I
in.
might offend someone,
Yeah.
or someone owns a game and you don't want to upset them. Like, no holds barred, right? Like, it's off the table. You say what you like. It's all good.
I just really like that Becky's line in the sand is that viticulture's unbelievable, and yet she was quite happily building a dino island in the day. It was like,
Yeah.
No.
But I'm happy with this.
It's-
yeah.
I don't think it's because it's not the believable. It doesn't make sense to me. I find that I'm
Don't
not
enjoy it,
enjoying
yeah?
it when I'm playing
Yeah,
it, and
that's fine.
I can't really say why exactly, because it's worker placement, which I like.
Yeah.
It uses little kind of cool little meeples that are shaped of. Really like it. Should
Yeah.
like all of those things. It's about production. I should like everything about it, but I just don't.
There you go.
And that's
that's
that.
fair enough.
Oh, I feel lighter.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a problem shared is a problem halved, right?
Yeah, I
so
feel better now.
off the chest, it's all good. Right,
Yeah.
Becky's jumped onto that
So,
chaise
yeah.
lounge, and now we've got to
Yeah.
kick her off.
Talking about wine. I don't like vineyards, but
There's a theme. There's a theme, people.
no, I don't know. I'm ready to play another game. We'll see. I can't judge it on one game. That's my own view of things. I can't judge them.
But we could do a synergy thing. So viticulture, vineyards.
Yeah.
I don't like on Mars.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And then you've got to pick something. Terraforming Mars, is that? No?
No.
Like that? No?
Oh, what? It has to link you.
yeah,
mean?
so I was just
There's
saying.
a link.
Yeah.
No, I
We
don't
could
think
keep
we're
going
that
around
good.
in circles.
I don't think it'll work.
we
quite,
definitely
but-
need some more thought,
Yeah.
wouldn't we?
Tenuous links.
Right, so
yeah.
we start with the viticulture. Who's going to jump on the chair next? Who's got something to share?
I've got
Go on.
something to share.
Go on.
I've made a little bit of a list, so
We'll
I'll
just pick one. Pick one of them.
Yeah,
and
that's
we'll
all right.
circle around.
All right, so this one's quite an interesting one because I've got a mixed bag at the table. All right, and Becky, you haven't played this one.
Okay. I can have an opinion.
But
I can always have an
interesting,
opinion.
Davey hated it. JP loves it. I love it. So it was one of those that I expected it to hit really hard with Davey, and it didn't. So that was my expectation. So Icion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was my one. Me and JP.
Yeah.
This was our little baby over lockdown, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
We were playing outside, and we could only do 2 people in the same
That's right.
like, room, and all this kind of stuff.
The
when all the
bubble
restrictions were
start,
in,
yeah, whatever it was.
So yeah, Icion, and it turned up as a Kickstarter just before lockdown hit, and we played the crap out of that game.
Yeah.
Played it a few times, 2-player, absolutely, enormously enjoys it. Really interesting puzzle.
Yeah, it's quite hard to explain to people what it is, though, isn't it? It's like,
It's a weird kind of. Yeah, when I sat down to play it, I did not expect it to play like that. Where you've got this massive, great big colossus thing in there, and you expect it to be like
it's going to kick your ass,
crap out of it, and it just wanders around the board, and you're just.
Well, you try and
still
pull things out of its bum. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Better than trying to put things in, isn't it? I'm still. But yeah, so really interesting puzzle, and absolutely love it. But then you played it, Davey, and I want you to give it another go. I will say that because I didn't teach it overly well, or no, I did, but I missed one key rule that then meant that it
ruined his game experience.
No, I think possibly it might have frustrated the things. Anyway, doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, give it another go. But at the time, I was really surprised you didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I played it twice, and I didn't like it twice, but it was so...
I thought you've only played it once.
No, I've played it twice. I played it once before.
But
it was such a long time between the two plays.
It might as well have been
I completely forgot how to play the game, and then so I was learning everything from anew, and it just there's some random elements I don't like about it, and it's got everything that I should like, but it just didn't seem to gel with me. But I will play it again because as long as it's within a shorter time scale and we get the rules right, then yeah, I'll give it another go and see. But I don't have high hopes for me liking it anyway. But I'll give it another go.
Did you know
it's a game? So
yeah. Can you want to play a game? Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So how did that feel, mate? Like you obviously got a game, you're really excited to play it, and then you think this is going to be like a sure thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's alright as long as like I've got my mate JP who likes it. As long as I can, no, but seriously, as long as I can still play with someone, I don't care. I'm not getting rid of it because it's one of my favourites. So.
Yeah.
I guess you just knew, or you thought you knew exactly about what you
The
thought
tastes.
that you thought that Davey would like, and
I mean,
it's
I've got more on this list that the games that other people thought I'd like that I fucking hate.
yeah.
On Mars.
It works all ways around.
Yeah, I'm sure that will come to on Mars at some point. That's on your list, but there we go. All right, thanks for sharing, mate. Thanks for sharing. David, do you want to go next?
Dr. JP. All right. Well,
Enter the Mind.
it all started when I was a bit young. Probably when I was about 5.
Yeah. What's this ink blot test? Like? What do you see? A butterfly?
A meeple. It looks like a meeple.
Looks like worker placement. Yeah. Anyway, Davey, go on.
It's just a Rorschach. Euro. Yeah.
Very trash.
Yeah. So mine, I'm going to start with Barrage, I think, because
Thought this would come up.
I might as well start with it. You know,
Whet the appetite.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I thought it would be a really good contested game.
Yeah.
But then it's that contention that people didn't really like about it as a Euro, because you're building your engine, but then people can latch on or screw up, and
Like a
that
parasite.
side, a parasite, and that side of it makes it fun because it's got, to me, that's replayability and variation. In every game you play, it's going to be really different, and there's going to be a lot of swearing at the table, and your engine's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be running, but that's the kind of challenges that I like being thrown at you, and sometimes it can not feel good. And to be honest, the last game we played, I messed up the rules there because I didn't mess up the rules. We played it not as it should have been played, where you draft the powers, but not knowing what the powers were, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
So we didn't do that rule. But I think when you draft the powers, it means you're going to get better combinations to go with your abilities.
That's just knowing the game and knowing the powers and knowing what to look for. But like with a lot of people's first game, what you're referring to, the latest one we played, right? So people are like, I have no idea.
Yeah, so we just played it, and there was a lot of stuff that just didn't work together, and you probably would have never have had that.
Yeah.
My powers were like anti-powers together.
Cack,
yeah, exactly. So I think another play would be better, but then I think people didn't enjoy it so much, so it's going to be hard to get it to the table.
See, I'm one of the ones that likes Barrage. I think it's a really good game, and for the reasons that you've said, Davey, because I quite like the contention and the tightness of it, and the fact that actually, you bastard, you've stole my water source. And all of that in there. And sometimes it's quite nice to play a bit of a meaner Euro, whereas a lot of them are quite multiplayer solitaire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just doing my thing on my board, and everyone go away. Let me calculate all of this, and off I go. So yeah, I loved it the first time we played it. We learnt over lockdown, right?
Yeah,
we literally
did.
learnt over Tabletopia or TTS.
Tabletop Simulator.
Didn't you play it at the UKG?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where you bought it, didn't you?
I remember
we
you
played a
talking about
game.
you stole my water source. And I was like, wait a minute. UKG, I remember you playing it.
Yeah, about a little flashback.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we learned and finished it quicker than they played Lords of Waterdeep.
That's right,
Surprised about, yeah.
Lords of Waterdeep is a deceptively long game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can be when I'm playing.
It's for your first game to be fair, wasn't it?
And because there was stupid, mandatory goddamn quests in it.
Yeah, we've had to take him out as due to a revolt.
Fair enough. So Barrage, yeah. So you're right, Kerley, you were in that game. You don't like it. Not your bag.
I tell you what, I learned something about myself that night. Mm-hmm. Things were on the chaise lounge. I know that's not how you pronounce it, by the way. I learned something about myself, and that is that I like games that make contention a difficult decision. So that in my mind, this is what I learned. Right, there's two types of contention. There's contention that reduces the options that you've got when you place a work placement, something like that.
Yep.
And there's contention with the gotcha moments, like Barrage, which is kind of like, I've done all this thing, I've spent ages setting it up, and I'm just having that. And that was just like, okay, great.
Angry.
I can see how cross he is already.
Honestly,
look how cross he is.
But then the more you play that game, you would see that happening.
I don't think it's a bad game.
No.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
I just ended up, by the end of that, I was getting more and more frustrated to the point where I was actually angry with it, and I was getting angry at the other people. like not properly angry, of course, but like I was like,
fisticuffs at dawn.
But I've never been one, despite my reputation. I'm not one for contention in any game. Mm-hmm. Like I mean that genuinely. Like TI, like you guys bang on about how well I do at games. I don't like the invading. I don't like battles. I don't like any of that.
Don't make you feel good.
No.
Dominating a player. Davey loves it.
If I give them a kicking and knock them out, I'd feel awful. Or if I knocked them down to the point where they definitely couldn't win, I would feel awful. And that's what I don't. And I don't like it the other way around either. Mm-hmm. So I'm a good turtling defensive player. I like to be able to be the one that you don't want to beat up on because he's too powerful, basically.
Right. Spirit animal turtle. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's fine. But yeah, so it's that contention with the gotcha moments, frustrating.
I don't think there's any gotcha moments in Barrage, though.
Oh, come on.
No.
I think
it's like
Adrian
that.
nicked my water source flipping twice when I set up.
But that's because probably you don't know the game, though. If you would be able to see that someone could do that, and then you've got to think about those situations happening if you know the game.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'd never play it again ever, but I will say that first game that I played has made me not want to play it again ever.
Yeah.
This is what it's about, though, isn't it? This is what it's about. Like you have these experiences, and you think it's going to go well, and it doesn't, and you go, oh shit, that didn't kind of work how I wanted it to, and it kind of puts like the owners of the games in a funny situation, sometimes an awkward situation, where you've got a game that you like or really love and enjoy. And then suddenly 50%, 60%, 70% of the group don't want to play it. And you're like, well, I can't play this game now.
Yeah.
So I own this thing, how am I going to play it?
And not just that, it's almost, do you ever have that thing where you recommend a book or a film to someone and you are so in love with the ideas in this book or this film, and you suggest it to someone who you think, oh, this is amazing, and they come back, well, wasn't very good. Mm-hmm. And you almost feel betrayed. Like you thought, I thought
like
I
a
knew.
Little cut and it's,
I thought I knew you. I thought I knew what you liked.
Right, I'm going to jump onto the chaise lounge.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pull a game.
JP's chaise lounge of
what?
I don't know, hexpectations?
Hexpectations.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go, that's what it is. Cloudspire is... yeah, exactly. Here we go.
Oh, I love Cloudspire.
Is a game that I just thought would land in this group. I don't know, I was so confident. I thought, people are going to love this.
This is amazing.
This is it's got kind of like, you got your minions up, you got your armies and stuff, and you're going to like smash into each other, and it's quite puzzly. Chip theory, everyone loves chip theory, right? Sure. Maybe it's just me. And I've never had a game just fell on its arse so many times in the group, apart from Davey, who's the only person in our group, and now Ben, who enjoys it. So it's a bastard to get to the table if you want a big player count on it, just because everyone's like, nah, it's not really for me. And I think what it comes down to is it's essentially a MOBA. So
Yeah,
it's like a
and
mobile.
I play a lot of MOBAs. So.
Like mobile online battle arena, right? Is that,
Yeah,
is that your
multiplayer.
Yeah, I see. I don't play MOBA, so I have no idea what the acronym is. But I know it's that style of game where you've kind of set minions off, and off they go to their destination. You have limited control. You used to have control, but you have limited control because they're just advancing and progressing, doing lots of stuff in a way. And I think that's the bit that turns people off.
Yes,
it's because maybe they don't like MOBAs.
It's like it's like an automated MOBA, but yeah, and you have you level up and you get better and better, and
the heroes can move where you want. All that
but it's another one where you've got to watch what your opponent's doing because
massively.
You've got to see what they're leveling up and try and counter what they're leveling up to what you want to level up and put your own minions against them. So
I didn't mind that side of it. It was you level up, you send a little guy off, and he's now this big old strategy game on like what is a hex-based chessboard almost, and you send them off, and then you just don't get to really control them, and it's like they just suicide into a dead.
Well, that's the subtlety
that's
in
the
the
puzzle
game,
of it, yeah.
Because you can control them, and what you set them up with, and the order you set them up with, and whether you group them or not.
Yeah, and depending on what they've set up,
absolutely
set up as well,
and how you manipulate their movement across the maps is actually more controlling it than people give it credit for. But I agree with, if I just wind up the clockwork toys, as it were, and then let them off in the path, and
you have to pre-program it and then let it go, and then see if you've done the pre-programming.
Tactically flick.
But then you have to kind of like watch it happen. Yeah.
Dear
so
listener,
I do understand.
Kerley is not looking convinced.
No.
No, it just at one point I think I had you bang for rights in that game. And I sent off my catapults, and all that was left of your army was the towers, and all I had to do was take them down. I had range 4 on these catapults, and your towers were range 3. I thought, I've won this. And they said, no, you've got to move. So I'm going to walk within range of your towers and definitely die because I have to.
Because you're going to the fortress gate. Is your mark.
That's the way war works, isn't it? When somebody's got longer range
but it's
than
not,
the
it's
other
not,
person.
It's not an RTS. It's not like a strategy.
But that's my problem with it. Is that I want control over the forces I've got. Yeah. And if I don't, then
you're coming into the game as an RTS brain, and it's not that.
No.
It's a completely different
What's
game.
RTS stand for?
Real-time strategy.
It's like I'm more
Command
like
and
just a
Conquer.
normal, like War of the Ring or something like that. I want control over the bits that I.
Yeah. No, I get why you don't like it.
Yeah.
It's
I
just,
understand why.
It hurt.
I expected to like it, honestly.
Yeah.
From this point of view, I expected to.
It stung. I'm not going to lie. That one stung a little bit because it was just like And I have been toying. Shall I keep this? Shall I not? And I've still got it because I do play a lot of it solo, and I keep meaning to set games up with Davey. We said it every time. We should play this. Yeah, we should absolutely play it, and we will do it.
Get Ben involved as well. Get a free player game would be interesting.
Go freeway.
I'm not totally against playing it again. I will say, like all of these games, I play them again. Seriously, being serious now. Set up a game, I'll join it. I'll play it again because I will always give every game at least 2 tries. Yeah. If I didn't like it a second time, that might be me done with it. But I'll give it a go if it's one of your favourites, mate. You know me.
It's up there. It's like
I play it.
It's not bones.
It's not like I haven't wasted a night playing. But oh no, I've got to play a board game tonight. It's like
no, but it's one of those. That's one of my shining examples of. I had great hexpectations for it, and it just fell on its arse.
I mean, I feel the same.
Yeah,
I feel the same. I thought I would love it.
And me, I get my enjoyment from people around the table. So when everyone leaves the table going, that's a bit shit, wasn't it? I'm like, so it hits me more, and it's weird.
But it is going to happen, though, isn't it?
It's going to happen. The amount of games we played, they're not all going to hit.
But
anyway, Cloudspire. I'm off the chair. Someone jump.
I kind of knew what I was expecting with Cloudspire though, because I'd done so much research into it. I was going to buy it at one point, and then Jake was like, "I bought this," and I was like, "Oh, that sounds
like
save money."
Yeah, because it wasn't a cheap game.
Cheap theory, it's never cheap.
You got any more, Becky?
Well, it's one that you don't like, Sagrada.
Oh yeah. Well,
okay.
God, they're all games that I don't.
No, it's just because
there are a couple more, by the way.
I was thinking of games that I wish I got to play more, and there's not very many in that category because most of the games that I like are ones that you think that I would like. So I give them a try, and then it turns out I really like them. So at least I get
it sound like I'm so controlling.
No, but you're not controlling. You're really good at recommending the ones you think I will like, because you know me previously to sort of the last couple of months. I've been so averse to trying new games.
Yeah.
I almost want to send you out, do a little bit of research, try the game. Do you think I like it? yeah, you'll like it. Okay, I'll give it a try then.
Yeah.
So that's, you've kind of been able to curate the stuff.
The
So
board game recon.
yeah,
I love it.
so most of the stuff in my/our collection are things that I know you like because you've already tested them out for me. You've play tested them, and you know I like them. Whereas we did get Sagrada quite early on, and you don't mind it, but puzzle games are just not your thing, are they?
No, I just don't like. I'm happy to play them, especially because I know they're one of your favourites. The only one I like of those, or the only one that I've tried so far that I really like and would play like repeatedly, is Baron Park.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. That was really good, and that hit me because I'd played Sagrada, I played Azul, I played a few others, and I was like, okay, they're all right, but puzzle games aren't my thing. And then I expected to not like Baron Park.
Yeah.
And then I really enjoyed it. So it's the flip side of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm in the Sagrada like camp personally.
Nice.
I do like Sagrada,
Yeah.
and it was one of the games I played early in the hobby. We used to play at like lunchtime at work, and some guy brought Sagrada, and it was the most calming Zen-like lunch hour I've ever had.
It's lovely.
And I walked away and I went, oh, that was nice. And it's just really weird. Like I've never had that Zen experience playing a game, and it was just all just nice. They're passing the dice around,
And they're
you
very
get your dice.
beautiful,
Yeah.
and it's and so in the similar category. I'm just going to lump these together because they're not really
Fair enough.
huge board games.
I'm not getting off the chair.
Rummikubb. I love it. I know everyone hates it, and it's
I
one
know
of those
Rummikubb.
games. Kerley hates
I'm going to
it.
quote Kerley from the Christmas special.
everyone's going to think I'm miserable.
No.
Because of all these games I don't like. I like most games, I promise
He
you.
does. He
I'm
does.
going to quote him because I feel exactly the same way as Kerley. Is Rummikubb can go fuck itself, is what you said.
You know what? That's exactly what popped into my head when
Yeah.
she said it.
Yeah.
That game
That's
goes-
exactly what you said on the Christmas special.
Are we gonna bleep this
No,
episode out with Fs?
No, allow the Fs.
So I
the
like
Cs.
this game because it's puzzly.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I know that Kerley quite likes Rummy, the card game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what anyone else says. I'm on the couch. I'm saying how I feel about it. It's the same game.
It is not the same fucking game.
So it's the same. It's the same game. Instead of hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades, you've got red, blue, yellow, and black. It's
so
the
what
same
they've
game.
done is they've taken a really good game and made it shit.
I think I've got nostalgia with Rummikubb, but I've always enjoyed it when I've played it.
Yeah, it's kind of easy. It's kind of just
It's
puzzle.
one of those family games. I wouldn't play it like.
Yes,
I wouldn't
it's
book in
not-
a game and play
No.
a
I
game.
I
like
literally
this.
got halfway through and was like, nah, screw this
Check-
game.
checked
out.
Checked out. See you
And
later.
that's fine because but it does mean. I mean, I used to play it on a night shift, and you can just quickly drop it if you need to run off.
Yeah.
So because Kerley doesn't like it, I am going to have to try and find other people to play it with because I won't be able to play it at work anymore.
Well, I will be with Kerley and say no, thank you.
Okay. Well.
Not a
Well.
fan of that game.
But I put that in the same kind of category
Yeah,
as
I understand
Sagrada.
why
it's
you-
kind of a puzzly kind of low effort, low kind of payoff
Quality.
game. Well, I like it, but I can understand why people don't like it.
Fair.
It's a time and a place for those type of games, though. For me,
Hell.
like
Right.
hell.
Bin.
Well, it's nice that everyone has different thoughts.
So
about
all the
it.
Rummikubb fans of the podcast have just said no, we're not
Yeah,
listening to you
send
anymore.
me a letter. I will enjoy reading it. Don't burn me for it.
But I will play Rummikubb with you because I don't get to play it with anyone else.
Yeah.
So it's all
That's
good.
good. We're glad you like it. Right, Becky, you need to get off the chair.
Yeah,
now.
I'm off now. That's
Kick
it.
her
Yeah,
off.
get
Kick her
off.
off. Right, who's jumping on? Who's
Well, should just keep going around.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Come on, Davey.
So
What other game don't I like?
no, I was actually gonna go for the other way around. Let's go for some
Okay.
positives, shall we?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So legendary was it legend? Not legendary. What is it? Help me here.
You're looking at me.
Yeah,
Legendary is
sure.
the deck building card. Oh, Legacies.
Legacy. There we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Thank you. So, Legacies. So,
Yeah.
Stuart, a member of the group, but not of the podcast, but does listen to Hello Stuart, brought Legacies,
Yeah.
a Kickstarter game, and to be honest, I didn't have high expectations, didn't have low expectations to this game. I just thought, oh, it looks right, we'll play it and see how it goes. And yeah, there's a bit of imbalance in it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just a fun game. There was loads of different mechanics in it. There was lots of variation, and we just all had a laugh playing it. So, yeah, I think sometimes it's better to go in with low expectations to things anyway.
Yeah.
No
But yeah,
different
it
with
just,
like a film, is it? Where you,
Yeah.
you watch a film, you don't know anything about this film, and you watch it and go, "That was brilliant,"
yeah.
because literally zero
Yeah,
expectations,
the hype
Yeah.
is not there to have to live up
That's
to, is
it.
it?
and it surprises you. So
Yeah, and I couldn't really there's obviously some things that were wrong. I probably had a really busted combination, or but I think everyone did enjoy it at the table.
No, I loved
nonetheless.
it. I mean, you gave us a right shoe-in because that was an evil combo. By the
It
way.
was, yeah.
But I still really enjoyed it. I don't need to win.
No,
It was
and that's
good
it.
fun. I
And
really enjoyed it.
the little stock section was just
Yeah.
quite funny, buying out and
Yeah.
making them plummet, and then obviously buying back in.
Mhm.
It was pushing other people's stocks down or latching onto someone else's stock who's they've spent all game rising it. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna have a little bit of that. Go on.
So
I
your
jumped in
definition of like the board game therapy is you've jumped on the chair and told us how great your life is.
there. Yeah.
So, and now are we the psychiatrist? Is there something behind that? Is it a projection?
Well, you want to say something negative
No,
now,
I
do
don't
you? Is
know,
that what it is?
I don't know.
Go on.
Are
What did you enjoy
sure?
about the game,
Yeah.
JP?
How was your childhood? I don't know. No, honestly, I like the game. It's good.
You
It's
liked
good
it
fun,
as well, yeah. Yeah, that was my positive.
Your,
bit.
your positive
Yeah, why
release
not?
of energy,
Yeah.
as it were. Go on then, Kerley.
All right. Well,
No
I'm not
good.
going to continue. I'm just going to make the hell out of it. That's what we expect. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for a bit of a different one this time
Go on.
and say the one that I think we probably agree on, but the community I've found doesn't, which is
Okay.
quite interesting.
I'm
which
intrigued.
is Dwellings of Eldervale.
Yeah.
It didn't hit for me. I kickstarted it, had it turn up. I was looking at it. Components looked great quality. Looked like a great game visually.
Was that the one where you summon the elementals and take
Yeah.
them over?
And
I
there's
enjoyed
like
that one.
monsters knocking around, and you put like buildings down. And
Well, you put building hats on people, a bit weird.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
for me total miss. I really didn't enjoy it. Well, no, I don't know if I'd go that far. I got to the end and went, nah, it was all right, but for the money I paid for it and how much I'd been looking forward to it, hence the title, Expectations, how much I was expecting it to be amazing, I was like, well, no. I think I put it on Facebook to sell the next day.
Yeah. I agree with you. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah, I didn't think it was crap. I didn't think I hated it. I wasn't excited by it.
No.
So it's kind
Yeah,
of
I
fell in the
enjoyed
middle.
it, but I wasn't
Yeah, it was-
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it.
No.
And considering the cost, because any Kickstarter game you've really got to kind of like, because
You've got to love. Yeah.
it's like £100 really as a minimum
Yeah.
for these things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. You can get smaller games, of course, but yeah. But generally speaking, the games we like, £100 odd.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. That's mine.
Okay. Any reasons why, particularly that you felt that one didn't hit?
It
Or was
played.
it more of a feeling?
I
of
think
it?
the expectations around the game were totally different. So I didn't think it was going to be that type of game at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So in my mind, it wasn't like the bit where you put the hats down and you VP generating
Yeah.
kind of thing. That wasn't what I wanted from it.
Yeah.
So it might have been a little bit to do with my expectations going in, which I appreciate is not a very valid
Do
reason.
you think it was going to be more like a 4 times or
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
more of a 4x. Possibly.
4x? Sorry, not 4 times.
Yeah, well, whatever works.
Yeah.
I guess so. But guess my overriding feeling was that people kind of got a bit carried away with how good it looked rather than how well it played. But I don't want to say it because but it is a really popular game.
Yeah.
Like
People
the
out there
hype
love
for
it.
and people do love it, and
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
do.
knocking them. It's one of those that didn't hit for me. I can't really properly explain.
There might be another one that's a grower, not a shower.
Possibly, but I
Yeah.
mean, we've got so many games. That's the
Well,
problem.
that's true, isn't it?
Like, genuinely, like, I'll give a games usually a few goes, or at least if I can see the potential. I guess I just didn't see the potential
Yeah.
in it. And maybe I was wrong, and maybe people can correct me on that, but I just didn't see, for us, the potential of it.
Yeah. And I think of me jumping on the chair, and I'm going to kill 2 birds, 1 stone here, because Davey's probably got this on his list as well, which is Food Chain Magnate, for different reasons.
Is that something that I didn't get involved in?
No, you didn't want to.
No, you didn't want to.
No, but still,
Yeah.
it's not one that I hate.
You don't have an opinion on it
No,
because you
'cause
never
I
played
played
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the positive corner at the moment.
Yeah. So we got like me is the person who bought this game and was quite excited about it. Heard lots of good things. Thought I'm a heavy gamer. I like my heavy games. I don't mind them. And played it. Nah. It's just I don't know what it was. Just fell flat.
What a game!
And Davey was like, "That was brilliant, top 5 game," and I was like, "Really?" And like
You just sounded so disappointed when you were talking about it. I
was.
could hear the disappointment in your text.
I was, because this game is a highly regarded game out there in the board game community. Lots of people love this game, and I was thinking, well, I'm going to love it. Surely I'm going to love it. and it just didn't work for me. I don't know what it was. Well, I kind of know what it was. For me, it's punishing as hell. It's so punishing, and I think in order to get good at it, I'd have to play it 15 times to probably be at a level where I would be comfortable in playing it and enjoying myself. And it comes back to this Dwellings of Eldervale conversation you mentioned, Kerley, which is I'd just rather play something else.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it comes down to. It's like if I have to play this 15 times, I'd rather insert any other game from my collection more times than this.
So many different combinations with your little employees and
That's
those
what I mean.
like little chains.
It looks cool.
I can see your brain is like exploding with the exponential variance and the other possibilities.
The economic
it's a cool
chain you could get going.
Yeah.
And then when someone slips up, just dominate them now. Buy all the stuff that they've
You make a stumble
spent
in
all
the game. You make a stumble. That's it. You're done. You're out.
It's giving me a headache just.
Yeah, JP put a little radio thing out, which basically put food everywhere, and then I just came in and went snaffle, 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 and then basically took it all. And
It's
then,
like a Pac-Man with hot dogs.
yeah, and I can see it's probably not a fun game when you're behind, and.
Yeah, I mean,
if I
Davey
played
won
with
this.
people that played it loads,
Yeah.
they'd probably kick my ass at it, and whether I'd enjoy it in the same capacity, I don't know.
But like I said, I think if I'd played it more times, and this is your point, I only played it once, and I actually made the decision to not play it again, which is fair. It's a fair criticism of me to say you should have probably given it another go, but I just didn't want to. And, and that's my only defence. Is like my brain was saying I've got to put up another event in the gaming group.
But you could have played
And
the
I just-
catch-up mechanic.
I just don't
The ketchup
want to
mechanic.
play it.
Well,
Like,
wasn't it even worse? Didn't you have it in there and you just went, no, I'm not doing that?
Yeah, he cancelled it off. Yeah,
I
he
think-
wasn't. He set it up and was like, I don't want it.
I think 2 weeks to go, and I was like,
He
I'm not
felt
feeling
nervous.
But that's the thing.
I'm not
Time is
feeling
really
it.
precious, right? Time is
Yeah.
precious. I mean, we're very, very lucky with the amount of games we play on a weekly basis, daily basis sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you're going to waste your precious time playing a game you're not enjoying, when you could be playing something even half decent that you don't, might not be your top 10 games ever, why would you waste your own time?
Yeah.
I think that's what it came down to. I had to listen to my brain going, you don't enjoy this, mate. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's like going for a run.
No.
You're not enjoying it.
And I
Can't
felt
see the
maybe
benefit.
I was
But you
doing
don't
it
know
for you.
whether.
Yeah.
But you don't know whether when you got to the table, suddenly it would have clicked. And
Maybe.
you would have enjoyed that game.
We'll never know.
I will say I'll defend JP at this point, but just remember this the next time you invite me to a game that you know that I'm not going to come to. But I kind of get both sides of it. I really do. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I understand I should play things multiple times to make sure that I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to muster the enthusiasm and
Yeah.
motivation to do so.
Yeah.
And I feel exactly that way about the last game that I'm on talking
Yeah,
about.
well,
Yeah,
now it's
because
coming.
I've got one that I'll bring up where I tried it again and then enjoyed it. So
Okay. Well, I'll
It's
show
just,
up because that kind of covers me and you a little bit, Davey. But I thought I'd bring it up because it sends me into spasms. I don't know what it does. But anyway,
I want to mention Astra.
yeah.
I love it. It absolutely hit the nail right on the head for me. Totally loved it. Kerley didn't. He liked it more than I think he thought he was going to. Mostly.
Okay, so it's a bit of a weird one with Astra for me. So for me, I liked it the first time I played it loads. Since then, I still like it, but I see JP's problem with it.
Yeah.
So ever since I played it that first time, it's getting going.
Yes.
It's getting going. It's
Yeah.
getting
So
that first one.
this is it. I
You
totally.
get a block, you've got no engine, really. I
Yeah.
know it's a miniature,
Yeah.
and you just can't seem to make that breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then you see someone else make an in my mind, an error that allows another person to get their thing and then they've got an engine now. And now, what am I just going to sit here and just hope that someone throws me a little bit? Yeah, to get started in that game, it feels a tad frustrating.
Yes, and I can totally see that. But I was really, because it's Mind Clash, I was like, JP's going to be all over this like a little rash. He is going
I
to
honestly
love
thought
it.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, well,
But
it's
and
Mind
I could see the kind of disappointment because I could tell that you were really wanting to like it.
Yeah.
And I think, I do get your point, Kerley. I do wonder if maybe the start could be tweaked slightly. So there's a mechanic in it
prelude.
yeah, maybe where
or you draft the card each or something.
or you get given a telescope. So
That's all it would need, a telescope.
For those that haven't played it, it's really difficult because you only get one action each time until you can manage to get a telescope, and then you've kind of got almost 2 actions, and that means the whole world opens up to you.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if maybe it's worth playing the very first round, less Stardust, but 1 telescope. So maybe you need to go round again and rest and get more Stardust, which is the kind of currency.
If it's your first game that you're learning, because I no doubt I've made mistakes because I was learning the game, maybe
you get a telescope.
Well, not just the player, but maybe that's just what you all do, just so that it's a bit more forgiving to start off with.
Yeah,
but
I agree. I do think that could be really worthwhile.
Yeah, maybe my body language and my face was telling all, but I was disappointed that I didn't like it. Myself was thinking, why don't I like this?
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with me? I feel like a Mind Clash game.
This is it, and I could see that you were really, you were trying very hard to want to like it.
Yeah.
But there was that little kind of part you go, no, I'm not enjoying this. No. I'm not enjoying it, which, but I can see why. I totally can see why, because it does feel a little bit.
I got halfway through the game, I literally didn't have any power cards. Every time I tried to do something, someone like, snaffle, take that card, great, brilliant. I will get a little bonus, fine. And then I think it was about halfway through where I actually got a card. Kerley's got 7 by this point. So his engine's like, I'll do this, I'll flick this and flick this and this. And it was like, and then finally when I got going, he's like, yeah, game's over. Like, oh, okay. It was just
but
like,
I
was feel bad.
And I think both of you really wanted to like it, but just because of maybe an unfortunate, probably the person who started was to your left, therefore everyone else had to go before you. It just kind of
I just
really
couldn't
affects
see. Like
you didn't make a mistake. This is it. You didn't make a mistake, and you still didn't get very far.
I drove home and went, I don't know what I could have done different.
No.
Well, that's honestly what I think. I don't know what I could have done different.
To make a big difference,
How do you progress in this game? How do you get better at it?
I can totally see why you felt that way.
But I probably did some mistakes, no doubt. First game, I'm gonna, right? And I always do, even on my 15th game. But yeah, that's just how I felt when I drove.
I think if it
I will give it a go.
Give it another go.
Yeah.
Give it another go.
But no, I'm sad you didn't like it because I really do love it, and maybe because the hype that I have generated myself for it and vicariously telling everyone how amazing it's going to be.
I had my own hype for it because it was a Mind Clash game.
Yeah.
To be honest, so it was kind of like, but then maybe I'm comparing it to because it's a Mind Clash play title, not a Mind Clash, and maybe I'm in my head I was thinking, well, surely it shares the same space.
And it really doesn't.
And it doesn't at all. It's
why
it's
I like
designed
it.
not to.
Yeah, which is why I like it and not the others.
Yeah, and which is fine. It's fair. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I'm sad that you didn't like it as much because I thought you would.
Yeah.
But like I say, I can totally justifiably. I can totally see why you didn't like it.
Yeah, I'll give it another go.
That game. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
So yeah, I've got a couple. I'll start with negatives. Go on. I'll be a negative Nora in this.
What's the point? You've got to get off your chest.
Nah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So, Anachrony. When I first sat down with that game, I fucking hated it.
It's gonna punch him then.
I fucking hated it.
Hold me back, JP. Hold me back.
I sat down and it was your analogy with Mr. Burns. There was just so much to do, and I was like, And usually when I first play a board game, I pick it up, and I might not do the best thing, but I'm usually alright at it.
Yeah, your learning kind of ramp up is quite steep. Like you'll get a game, you'll get it quite quick.
But usually I'll latch onto it. I'll see a strategy, and I'll latch onto that. But you can't do that on Anachrony. Because I was just like, I'll latch onto this strategy and I'll run with it. And then I was just like, oh, you didn't do any of the other bits. I was like, nah, fine. And then it's just like, nowhere near. Lost the game. I was just like,
You've got 4 points.
Yeah. I was just like,
there's 10 avenues of scoring in this game, and you've done one of them.
Yeah, that's it. So I was just like, that was crap. And then we sat down, and I think we played an expansion the next time.
Fractures. Yeah.
Typical JP. And I loved it. And to be honest, I don't think I'll ever go back to playing the base game.
No.
Because for me, it was also too limiting. It was too many walls put up, and it was just like, you've got to do all of these avenues, but the game's so tight that you have to be so efficient with it. And usually I like that, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, and it shocked the hell out of me, to be honest.
Yeah,
because me and you were tussling who's going to buy it.
Yeah, we were.
Originally.
Because I was
thinking about it, and I was thinking about it.
So I nearly got it at the
Expo.
First Expo, yeah.
Yeah, but I elbowed you in the face and bought it.
No, did you buy it at the Expo? You did, didn't you? Yeah, you did, yeah. I was just like, that's right, save me some money.
I couldn't resist it.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't think I'd like it, so I could just as easily have this one down as the opposite way around. Because I loved it. As soon as I sat down and started to play, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. And it was strange because I looked into it loads and I thought I was going to love it. And when I first sat down with it, I didn't like it. But I'm glad I played it again because I do like it. It gave me a headache the last time we played it.
Yeah.
And I had a very weird strategy, which I've not done before. And I had so many minus points, but I was able to negate a load of them. So I did alright. I came second, didn't I, behind Kerley.
He got a good score, in fairness.
Yeah.
He's very good at the game.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, like, of all games, I think I'm best at Anachrony and probably Art Nova.
I don't think I'll ever get to a position in that game where I'll even get near to your score. I just can't see it. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I can easily, like, but yeah, I can easily lose at that game, I will say.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes
What is it,
just,
Sive
I
over
just
it,
feel
but
like a zen moment and just go into it.
You just figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm not bad at Scythe either.
But, and then I'll quickly just briefly mention one more, which was Monumental. Because I still really like that game, but I don't know whether I like it enough and anyone else likes it enough to keep it. Because the biggest downside of it is AP and the amount of length between each people's turns.
Yeah.
Because it's a really fun game and it's really good. So if people don't know what it is, it's it's an area control game, but it's got a Euro mechanics and like a deck builder style mechanic to it. But the way that you have to play your cards, you play them in a grid, a 3x3 grid, and when you play, you have to play either in a column or a row. But you play all those cards, and you get all those effects. And you can have some combo effects in there once you do that, and then those replace, and you get a new set of cards.
Quite unique, that mechanism.
Yeah, and it's really fun. It is really fun, but because of all these different combos, because you also get movement points when you're doing stuff on the board, there's lots of layers to it, and one person's turn can sometimes take like 10 minutes, and it's just too long.
Yeah.
So it's one where I've played it twice. I've played it 3 times, and it's sat on my shelf. And I've just not mustered up the strength to play it again, even though I enjoy it. So it's a strange one. And I know you guys weren't enamoured by it. So.
It was all right.
Yeah, that was.
I enjoyed it.
But
again, too long between turns for me, 100%.
Yeah, that's it.
But same problem as I've got with Through the Ages.
It's probably better at shorter player counts or lower player counts.
I think that's probably true.
like a 3 player. It's better.
Or even a 2, maybe would be one of those.
It's one of those things you play with 4. Is it 4 or 5?
Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't want to play it at 2. I think 3
because
player
of
would
an
be the
area
sweet
control
spot.
game.
You want the contention on the board.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. So for me, it was all right. But again, as a Kickstarter, that's worth what, a couple of hundred at least. It was like, is it worth keeping if it's just all right?
Yeah, that's it. So that's my other one.
Gonna pull a Davey on you, and I'm gonna say my biggest surprise lately has been Cerebria. Because I hated it first time I played it.
Yeah, you did.
I thought it was rubbish, and considering the fact that it's a Mind Clash game, which I naturally think is amazing, hated it at 4 player, played it at 2 player to give it another go, and one of my favourite games I've played in a long time. So for me, huge surprise. Was not expecting to like it. Mostly played it as a bit of a JP plays loads of games that I like, so I'm gonna play a game
threw me
that
a bone,
he
didn't
loves. Well, literally and figuratively, sir. But yeah, so that was my big one.
No, I enjoyed that.
We've talked about it before, I will say. So I'm not going to go into.
Yeah, we talked about it on the Mind Clash episode.
We had a good teaming when we played. Yeah, it was.
The forces of
We were
bliss.
in sync for that game.
Me and Davey were high
I've got a lump
minds.
with Ian.
Yeah, well.
Sorry.
I am joking. I love Ian. Love you, mate. No, I am joking. It was the 4-player nature that got me.
Yeah, we know you don't like 2v2 games in general.
No.
That's not your favourite kind of player counts for a game. So, but I am keen to try it and I don't know whether you're going to turn off of this with Cerebria.
I've already said that I would know. Go on.
But I would like to do it with the forces of balance, which is a 1v1v1.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
It's not team, so you essentially have your bloom, the bad, negative spirits. You've got your positive spirits, and you've got one that wants a bit of both. Has to keep everything in equilibrium.
Right. Okay.
And I think that might be quite an interesting dynamic.
Might be down.
To see how it kind of plays with that. Not straight away, but it's there. It might just be the sweet spot for it. I don't know, or it might be shit.
Yeah, totally.
But,
I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that for sure. But loved it.
Yeah, we had a good game, didn't we?
Yeah, really.
You were comboing all over the place, weren't you?
Combos
To be fair, we only ended up at what 9-10 points different.
Yeah,
but
it was very close. But I must admit, like considering how close it was, my engine felt quite satisfying. Like boom, everything's happening, and JP's there well, pissed off about it. But he's still getting the points, so it didn't actually make a huge amount of difference.
You're doing lots of little things that were gaining you lots of little
my
bits, whereas yours just like,
I'm
there's
working
one
on-
big bit of...
I'm working on the goals, getting the thing in the
that's
tower.
it,
You know,
yeah.
I'm getting most of the stuff in the spire, but you just edged it. But it was just a good tussle, wasn't it? It was good fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So we got that. Got another game of that coming up soon.
Yes, we do.
And before we wrap up, right, guys, we've got some honourable mentions from Adrian, who wanted to chip in on this subject, but unfortunately couldn't make tonight. He wanted to mention Great Wall, which is a Kickstarter that he got. I think he's talked about it on the podcast many times before. And I think the reason why I think that kind of fell short for Adrian was because the Kickstarter had changed quite a lot through that process, which can happen, right? And so I think when he eventually got his hands on the Great Wall, it just wasn't quite up to scratch, or it wasn't quite up to maybe his expectations on what that was going to be. The other one he mentioned was Flamme Rouge. It's quite subtle, and he didn't feel like others really felt like their decisions amounted to much. So it sounds like another one that kind of fell flat when we brought it out to the group.
Well, now that's all off our shoulders, and we're all.
Did we all feel better for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So I feel a bit lighter, talking about the shit we don't like. That's why I wanted to do this episode, because I think we always talk about the games you like playing. We always talk about the positives, but sometimes these things can happen in the hobby. And I thought it'd be quite nice to just do an episode of getting stuff off our chest.
Negativity and
but just getting off your
absolutely.
chest and you know what? I wanted to say this for ages. I hate viticulture. I don't. I love it, by the way.
I know.
But it's quite nice, just refreshing to say it and go. And it's fine to not like things. You're gonna
You
find
still
that
be
in the
my
hobby.
friends, even though I don't like viticulture.
Yeah, and it's just
Oh.
but it's just
No more wine for you.
Yeah, damn you and your wine. So there we go. That's the main event. So let's move on to the question. So it's question time, and we have got a question from Neil Tunnicliffe, who's emailed into the podcast. So again, we'll put all our handles at the end of the show if you want to get in touch. We love questions, keep them coming in. Please do. So Neil asks, what size is our board game collections, and is it stable? And I'm assuming he means not bolted to the wall.
Yeah.
As in,
It's not wobbling.
Yeah, it's not wobbling. But yeah, is it stable? Does it have a one in, one out system, or is it constantly growing out of control? And do we ever have a cull and sell some games, or are we more of a collector? So there we go. That's the question. All got probably different answers to this.
Well, I'd like to think me and Becky have a similar answer. Considering we live in the same house.
You might think that, but I think you've got different answers.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I'd love to have a one in, one out. That would be my aim, but that doesn't seem too
Logical.
Didn't you drill in a little compartment underneath on the floor that you haven't told Kerley about? That you
stash.
slowly been slipping.
You're
more
playing a
board games
meta
into.
game with the Kallax. The Kallax is the board.
Yeah.
And the meta game is area control with Becky's board games versus Kerley's board games, and seeing which ones are winning for dominating space.
And I'm going for a strategy of just buying the biggest Kickstarters I can have, whereas Becky buys all the little shitty puzzle games
to fit around
so,
it.
that are cheaper. So it's like, who's going to win that little, strategy?
So I recently put all my games on Board Game Geek on the account.
Yeah,
and
the collection.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess this is a little bit bigger than my actual collection because it's games that I own and games that Kerley owns that I will play. So things like Twilight Imperium are not on
so
my
technically
list.
They're part of your collection because they're accessible to you.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
It was 92.
92.
92.
92.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we worked out we've got about 110.
Is it stable though?
No, it's
No, it's
growing
not,
out of
is it?
control. It's got an exponential growth.
We've seen you at conventions.
I will,
We've seen the
however,
bags that you come back with.
I will, however, say I buy most of my games secondhand. So my kind of recoupability.
Love that word.
I've just invented it. Well, maybe a word. My recoupability for spending is probably the same as I have spent.
Yeah, okay.
Minus P&P.
So you can't buy second-hand space, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're attacking it like this, like a profit and loss.
Yeah. I'm not.
But the problem is, JP, if you never sell them, then you can never gain the profit.
That's
So
true.
Becky is very much more a collector. Well, I've said, Becky, we need to actually think about getting rid of some games here. It's getting out of control. And she's gone, no.
We are actually going to IKEA at the weekend, and we will be purchasing a lot of
You
calories.
still haven't seen in the secret compartment either,
Stop
Kerley.
telling him about the secret compartment. I've actually got loads stashed in JP's shed.
Yeah.
No word of a lie. A load of my board games are around my mates at the moment because they don't fit on my Calyx anymore.
I thought you were going to say you were hiding them from Gemma.
No. Clank, Darkest Dungeon, and June all don't fit in my Calyx, so they're all at my mates at the moment because we've got to play them around there mostly anyway. And I've just like, oh, do you mind if I just leave this here? We'll play. Yeah, he's like, yeah, all right, sound.
Yeah,
And
no,
I'm
still
there, and
got
I'm
your
just
lost
like,
room
yeah,
to
there you
Varmac,
go.
actually.
Oh yeah.
So your way
dribbled
around
them around
it, your way
Twitter.
around it is disseminate to everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spread your collection so everyone else is looking after it. You don't have to see it.
Yeah.
And then how the hell do you remember where anything is?
He hasn't got a board game collection. He's just got a file with all everyone's names against.
Like a lending library.
I couldn't sleep
No,
if that was my
it's-
collection.
No.
I'd be like, where's everything? Who's got too many bones?
Well, it's fine because otherwise, if I had them, I wouldn't know what to do with them. I'd be like,
Yeah.
where do I put these?
So your
Space-
game
space
is
is
stable?
precious.
Is your collection
92?
stable?
No,
Yeah.
92. Yeah,
Sorry,
I know. Yeah.
Sorry, I went back to Becky.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, mine's not stable at all. I've got Frosthaven on the way, and another Kickstarter. I can't remember the other one.
Yeah.
And oh, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just not. Frosthaven. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that.
Yeah.
I
It's
really don't know what I'm
95.
gonna do with
It's
Frosthaven.
95. I've just
gone
looked.
up.
It's 95.
95, is it?
Is that
Yeah.
including expansions?
Is that the 3 on the way?
And you've got to keep in mind as well, Becky basically had like 3 games about a year ago.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
the
to
Surge.
say she's bought a lot of flipping games in the last year is, oh my
I think
God.
that's called winning, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
Winning the game collection.
yeah, fair enough. I wouldn't mind if you actually played them. There's quite a, well, to be fair, I'm not going to go down that road because I've got a few on my shelf for shame as well. Yeah. No, dear, no, that's fine. You do.
Yeah, you carry on, my love.
I know.
What about
You
you,
got rid of
Um,
Bloodborne as well. It's disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have a one in, one out, but I'm definitely not a collector. So I keep the games I think I might like to play again and get rid of the ones that I think actually. So I've got a few on the chopping block at the minute. I've got Northgard's probably going.
Yeah.
Kickstarted that one and think it's probably just that little bit too basic for an area control game
It
for
is
me.
too
So
simple.
yeah, so that one's probably going to go. Probably. What was the other one I was talking about getting rid of? I can't remember anyway. There's a couple on the chopping block at the minute, but I've got so many Kickstarters arrived. I've got Davey's problem. I've got Frosthaven just sat on my poof.
That's
poof
one
A
cube,
at the
isn't it?
moment.
That's one
That's
cube.
about the
Yeah,
size of
it's a whole
my
colour,
God,
isn't it?
me. And then you've got Mosaic Colossus Edition.
Yeah, I
Colossus.
sat next to that last night,
Yeah,
but
flipping massive.
again, it frustrates me this about you.
It's still in its brown
It's,
box.
it's still in the bloody packaging.
Has it arrived?
Yeah.
It arrived about a week ago.
And Europa Universalis is still in my car.
I'll be opening it, looking at it straight away. Have you opened Frosthaven at least? Yeah.
Not
No.
the actual box.
The lid hasn't
It's
even
still,
been off.
no. But I did take that out of the brown box, so that is the most levelled up of the lot.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are desperate for Frosthaven, haha, I've got it. I didn't even open it.
That's not kind, is it?
No.
78 minus
Expansions.
expansions. Yeah.
That's fair. Well, my collection's actually only. I'm just looking at it now, and I'm finding things on there going, I don't own that. 73.
Oh, so ours is nearly similar then. Ours
Yeah.
is very similar.
If I put expansions in, it's nearly 200.
Of course it is.
Jesus Christ.
That does not surprise me in
But-
the
So
slightest.
you got more expansions than games?
Yeah, but that's because I could justify
yeah.
it. I could justify this.
Oh,
52
is it-
of them too
I was
many
gonna say,
A
bones.
lot
100
of
of
too
them.
many bones.
Ah,
A
there
lot
we
of them
go.
are Marvel Champions packs.
Yeah.
A lot. So that probably dominates 40% of them, and the rest of them are probably the expansions and on expansions. Teaser. We'll talk about this in another episode. But yeah, 73, and I don't really have a one in, one out like Kerley, but I'm more mindful now than I ever have been about my collection. I do curate it a lot more. than where I was 4 years ago, where I just wanted to collect everything. Like if it's that publisher, I'm still a bit like that, I'll be honest, but I will try and collect most certain games of certain publishers, but I am more mindful and I'm more happy to let things go as well.
Yeah.
So if it's kind of like, you know what, it's not quite up there, just let it go.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Definitely.
Played it once, played it twice, fine, sell it, recoup some money, and then you only lost £5.
With money being how it is, if I bought all my games brand new, I think I'd be a lot more discerning. And I think I'd have to do that weighing up of, does this game replace a game I already have?
Yeah.
Therefore, I'll sell the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Or is this game just another version of what I already had? Therefore, I won't buy it.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, if I didn't buy my games for a lot less than they are actually, you know, the RRP on a brand new game, I think I would be far more discerning.
Well, the value is a massive factor, isn't it? Like you're willing to pick some stuff up at second hand, and why not?
This is
there's
it.
so much good stuff
I
out on the
could
second-hand
sell
market.
Takanoko for 15 quid if I decided I didn't like it. So it's kind of like renting it out.
Yeah.
Is how I've just sort of
You
justified
bought it
to
to
myself.
try it, and
It's a
you
good
can
game,
over.
actually.
It is, yeah, it's really great,
Yeah,
and it was. But I feel like I could definitely get fairly near on 15 quid for it if I wanted to. So I'm okay buying it for 15 quid.
Yeah.
So there you go, Neil. That gives you a bit of an insight into our wonderful world of our collections. I think, like most people, we started off excited, bought lots of stuff, realised we probably don't need to own every game that's ever been published, and try and curate them down to actual ones we play.
Yeah. And then just play other people's.
And then play other people's, then loan them out.
Just
exactly,
stroke them loving.
Yeah, look and go, "Aw, one day you'll come to the table." But there we go. No, thanks for the question, Neil. Really appreciate it. Got any more, please send it in. Now we come to the penultimate turn, where we talk about all things excitement, all things coming up, and what's going on. So, Kerley,
Yes.
what's coming up?
Looking forward to. Well, we do have. I'm not going to say this. I will say.
What,
But-
so edit this out, you mean?
No. I'm
Oh,
not,
sorry.
but just literally very quickly. I'm looking forward to Sunday, where we're going to crack our learning game of Europa Universalis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so really looking forward to that. But I've just had a new game arrive today, which I think everyone at this table is going to enjoy. So I'm going to put that on my list, and that's Orleans, which I spoke to you about. The
Oh
other day.
yes, or
So-
Orleans.
Orleans. Well, I'm going to call it Orleans because you know
Because I'm
not
British,
French.
damn it.
I'm not French, I'll have you know. Yeah, so okay, Orleans, is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. I'm just being
Orleans.
facetious.
Orleans.
Well,
I
anyway.
think.
Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, that's got really good reputation, really high scores. I looked at a couple of reviews and it looks really right on my street. So maybe in a few weeks' time we'll be doing another episode of Hexpectations where I say it was crap.
Yeah,
But,
horrid. Yeah.
but no, I'm really looking
No, it's
forward
a
to that,
classic.
and it looks like it might be, up everyone else's
I
street
think
as well.
it
so.
fits in that, for me, that bracket. Never played this, by the way, so take this comment with a pinch of salt. But it feels like it fits in that Lorenzo style bracket, that kind of European place, like midweight Euro.
What about Troyes?
You mean Troyes?
No, Troyes.
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 Yeah, that kind of thing.
I like Troy. I like Troy's.
So do
Twa.
Twa.
It's definitely Twa.
I know
I'm on
it's Twa.
JP's table for
I know it's
this.
Troy. I don't like
I
calling
know
it
it's
Troy.
Troy.
I
Just
know,
like
I know,
winding up JP.
Yeah. No, I look forward to that. Should be good fun. Davey.
Got Lisboa on Friday. Looking forward to that. And ISS Vanguard. We've been enjoying that. We're really enjoying
You're
that.
loving this at the minute, aren't you,
I love
Kerley?
Vanguard.
He comes home every time he's played it, full of the enthusiasm
I
about
can't-
it.
I can't rate it
It's
high enough.
oozing with theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been so thematic. There's been lots of funny stuff happening. Kerley not wanting to sacrifice himself for the greater good was like he literally
That's a highlight
took
already,
like
though.
half an hour going.
Well, see, these guys said you've got to sacrifice yourself. I'm like, I don't want to.
And we can't leave unless he agrees.
And they were like, yeah, but we're all going to die. I'm like, and? Like, you'll die as well. Yeah, but then we'll all be together in death.
And we'll fail the mission.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
well
no,
done.
I sacrificed myself extremely reluctantly for the greater good.
But yeah, it's just they've really thought out the story and everything else, and it literally, to me, it feels like a 90s or early 2000s sci-fi. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Nice one. And Lisboa. Oh
And
my,
Lisboa.
oh my god.
They're good. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So.
But we'll come back to that one.
We might be back here in the chair. You never
Might
know.
be. You go,
Yeah, it might be
JP,
back in Dr. JP's chair's launch.
It was shit. If you don't like Lisboa,
I'll put a photo up of his chair's launch onto the socials for everyone.
please do. But if you
Yeah.
don't like Lisboa, I'm going to be crushed, mate. Honestly,
Yeah.
No pressure, though.
No pressure.
no.
Yeah.
But for me,
Yeah.
my favourite Lacerda.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like it just, I adore it. But
Anyway,
anyway,
told me that. Now I'm going to go really high expectations.
Yeah.
And I'm
Sorry.
Going, it's shit.
yeah, it's really bad.
It
Carry on.
doesn't need much, does it, that one?
Me. Let's have a think. Well, I'm hoping to try and get Pandemic to the table.
Yes,
the
you've
World
had that
of
for a
Warcraft
while now,
version.
haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
It's the World of Warcraft
We
one.
Yeah.
bought it the UKGU.
Yeah.
World
Yeah.
of Warcraft.
So this is 6 months sitting in shrink. Believe it or not, all you
I
shrink
believe
haters.
it. I believe it. Yeah.
Believe it or not, JP's like,
You
yeah,
fight
I
off the
couldn't
wrath
predict
of the
that.
Lich King. Is that what you're doing in it? Or
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's a scourge, isn't it? That's the whole
the
point.
Scourge? Yeah.
so yeah, looking forward to hopefully actually playing that in a game that I don't feel I'm being dictated to by someone
Yeah.
else what I'm doing. So that's going to be really good, hopefully. And I ordered and received Azul glass doodars of Sintra.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, nice.
Stained glass of
Stained glass Sintra.
It's got high reviews.
Azul
Isn't it?
Sintra, that one.
Yeah.
Played it at
The second one they released from
oh,
memory.
I don't know. Played it at New Year's Eve with some friends. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And I thought I want this in my collection.
Yeah.
Is that
I did
is that the
prefer
new
to
one or
normal
no?
Azul, I will
I
say.
prefer it to the normal one too.
Yeah, is it the new one? Yeah.
No, this is
that's
the
the
second.
Queen's Pavilion.
Yeah, it's not
I
that one.
think.
It's
There's
got-
4. They've got 4
There's-
versions.
Yeah, there's
four.
the
This
most
is the
recent
second.
one. I know it's got reviewed quite highly.
Yeah.
I think as well.
It's got nice little squares that are shiny and
Sweet light.
clear. It looks like sort of Fox's Glacier Mint cubes.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
very
I
nice.
played this one. I have played.
You got
Very
the columns
nice.
of
Yeah.
stained glass
Yeah.
windows.
Yeah, I've played that one.
Yeah,
So-
It's good.
That's my that we haven't got that scheduled in. It just arrived and yeah, I was excited about
Nice.
it. How about you?
I am actually, after the last episode talking about Netrunner, love it. I'm actually looking forward to the night we've got planned, end of the month. So it's a bit of a fair way away, but I just want to get back into that game. Like I just want to play more games of Netrunner and just explore it again and just lean into the different corporations, lean into different runners and just get better at it. It's probably the main aim.
I've never been interested in that game, but listening to how enthusiastic you three were, it has made me want to play it. I have to be honest.
Yeah, it's without doing that whole episode again. We haven't got time for that, and we don't need to because we've recorded it and it's out. But yeah, looking forward to getting involved playing that. The other thing I'm actually looking forward to is I've got my eye. So you know how Kickstarter crowdfund antenna goes ding 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 when you start to think, oh, that looks interesting. So there's a game called Stonesaga, which I kind of mentioned on our chat the other day, and it's published by Games, which is Out of My Mind Games, and I've been keeping my eye on this one because it's essentially like based in the Stone Age, and it's kind of a world where you explore, and it has this kind of persistence involved within the game where, you know, through each kind of chapter the world stays the same as you kind of explore it and grow. It whatever you've done previously is left behind.
Legacy sort of stuff.
Kind of legacy stuff, and it's got this quite a unique crafting system in it that I've not seen before, where you can kind of literally, because you don't know anything, you don't know recipes, you don't know how to, you literally don't have the knowledge, and you're trying to get this stone and this stick, and you have to orientate in these tiles together to match certain symbols. You might think, well, that kind of looks like an axe, so I'm going to try that, and you basically gives you a code in the way that the tiles orientate, and you check it and you go, yeah, you've built this axe. Cool, I now know how to build axes, and I now know how to build picks and do this and do that. And essentially it's like a survival game, and you're trying to survive and forage, mine, delving into caves. It just looks really interesting.
That's
like
cool.
I've not kind of seen that sandboxy kind of game before.
So it's a single player, is it?
No, it's
Or-
multiplayer.
It's multiplayer.
Yeah, kind of co-op.
Oh, it's
Is
co-op,
it
is it?
campaign?
It's I think it's, if you want to call it that, you know, it's multiple sessions, yes.
Yeah.
And you've got certain goals you're trying to advance your tribe, as it were,
I do
settling
like
there.
exploration. I do have
And
to say as a mechanic.
It's really hard to explain. So I won't go too much into it because actually, little tease. We've got an upcoming expansion pack episode with the publisher, the main guy behind Games, which is Brendan McCaskill.
Right.
So we're going to have a little chat to him about Games, and Davey, you're going to join us on that one, I believe.
Yes, I will be.
And yeah, we're going to chat to Brendan all about how he set up and no doubt talk more about Stonesaga. So
Nice.
looking
Nice.
forward to that. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Only just to appease my interest in the game as well.
It does sound
So it's,
interesting.
it's not altruistic at all.
A little bit.
You want to know about the game.
Yeah, it's like, please tell me all your secrets. But no, so if that sounds interesting to the listeners, keep tuned because we'll be releasing that at some point soon.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So we've got there. I feel a lot lighter in my mental state, having got all of the cobweb.
I feel drained now. I
Yeah.
feel like you've put all your mental load on me. That's what I feel.
no.
Like. Yeah. No, I'm
Oh
joking.
well.
Yeah.
But no, we got to the end of the episode, but thanks everyone. Thanks for you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks for all the listeners to keep with us. And yeah, if you like the show, as always, please like, subscribe, review on your podcast player of choice. And if you want to get in contact, we've got many handles, as we always do. So you can email us on players@whosturn.co.uk. You can get us on the Board Game Geek. You can check out Facebook, Whose Turn Is It Anyway Podcast, Instagram @Whose Turn Podcast, and TikTok @Whose Turn Is It Anyway. And we'll be back again for another episode where I'm still first player. Ha!
Oh.
See you next time.
We'll be right back.